Bonkj 2. Now what I will say is that Super Bonkj 2 does not exactly pick up where Super Bonkj 1 left off. Goes a little bit of a different direction. So, again, some interpretation required. And in fact, if, Super Bonkj 1's storyline was very straightforward and easy to follow, right? But Super Bonkj 2 is a little less so. So we'll let you judge for yourself. I'll let the intro video play just so you can see some of the power-ups that Bonkj gets to use in this game. And mostly because a lot of them we won't actually get to see in the speedrun. So yeah, there's the chicken. A lot of different power-ups in this game compared to previous games. But this game actually goes back to more of the original formula of Bonkj games. There's the Kronk Bonk tank. Sadly, that is only used in a minigame, so we will, if things go well, we will not be seeing that power-up. But yeah. All right, we'll get started here. Timer begins right when I hit start. And so there's Bonkj. And we start out on the beach, just, I don't know, minding our own business. Again, not really sure the storyline of this game. If anyone does know more about the storyline of this game, feel free to share, but I've had a hard time finding information on it, and there's only so much that can be inferred. So there's the large, fortress that comes out of the ocean or whatever. I'm not sure who that belongs to yet. And then, yeah, so here's the thing you'll notice right away is that Bonkj has learned how to sprint now. So this game plays very differently than Super Bonkj 1 because of the sprint mechanic. That's one of the biggest reasons why it plays differently. Okay, it was a little early on that. We'll go there. Nice, okay. So yeah, this platforming is a lot faster paced, which makes this game a little more difficult to get through optimally. Another thing that makes this, yeah, so here's the chicken gang. These are some of the bad guys of this game now. So you see the chicken gang, there's 5 of them, and they kind of take turns taunting you and jumping into the level. And each act in this game is made up of 3 sections. The first that is just platforming. The second one will always have a mini boss. And the third will have the actual boss in it. So this is... Ooh, got me there. So this is the second section of like Act 1, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes that checkpoint just gets in the way, and other times it doesn't. And that time it decided to get in the way. Okay. All things considered, that was not bad through there. So yeah, now we'll fight a mini boss, which in this case is just this little fire-breathing guy. But he is very RNG based. It's kind of annoying. So he doesn't predictably breathe fire in the same spot. So he's actually, but he only takes a couple hits to get rid of. And so now we'll head to the third section, which is the Waterfall, where we'll face off against our first actual boss, first member of the chicken gang. And yeah, this game is definitely harder just casually as well, because if you do die, it's a lot more punishing in that you do get sent back to like the latest checkpoint or the beginning of the stage if you hadn't gotten a checkpoint yet. So there's a good chance you'll see a death or 2 in this run, but we'll try not to, but we'll see. We'll grab our first power-up. So in this game, this is we grabbed a pink meat, which turns us into Ballerina Bonkj. And this is actually one thing they deviated from quite a bit from the Bonkj formula has pretty much always been 2 levels of power-up, and this is like the first game that I'm aware of where they changed it completely. And there's a lot of different power-ups, but it's always 1 level of power-up from the base level, which is kind of interesting. But they did kind of go back to the old formula of having linear level design and not all the branching paths like Super Bonkj 1 had. So the ballerina does do double damage, even though we are spinning. Oh boy, I'm not going to be able to get through there. Okay. Even though Ballerina Bonk does not go head down, it still does double damage when you spin there. So yeah, I think Ballerina Bonk might actually be my favorite power-up in this game. So that's the end of Act 1. One chicken gang member dispatched, which breaks a lock on this jail cell of a mysterious character inside. Who could that be? So now we got this guy, the like beetle-looking guy, is the second chicken gang member to taunt us and jump out of the fortress. All right. Those glasses up there are a power-up that turn us into Lizard Bonk. We will get to see Lizard Bonk briefly later. But it's really not useful to pick up the power-ups in these first sections because you lose the power-ups between levels. And like I mentioned, there's a... bummer, missed that. Just jumped slightly too early. There's no mini-boss or boss on the end of on these first sections, so getting a power-up's not really useful. So we usually don't bother getting power-ups in the first section of the act, and then the second section, depending on what the mini-boss is, we might pick up a power-up, and then we almost always want a power-up for the main bosses. I think Act 4 might be the only one that we don't pick up a power-up on purpose. So there's another Ballerina Bonk, but it's actually not useful here because this mini boss is this annoying turtle, and I'm going to just do a very safe strat here where we're going to slide into the turtle and then juggle him and not let him get back up, because if you let the turtle get going, he can waste a whole lot of time and be a huge pain when he starts going into a shell and spinning around. So that's the safe strat there. Alright, this section's pretty tricky to navigate through. I'm going to damage boost on this fire so that we can get max speed. Oh, didn't quite get over. And then... okay, I'm going to hit all the fire. Clear that, there we go. It's kind of like Mario in that whenever you're at max speed, you can jump slightly higher than your normal jumping height. But sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when you're at max speed because you don't have a nice little P meter, you know, like you do in Mario, or a sound that clearly indicates it. So sometimes you're almost at max speed, but not quite, and then you jump and you find out it wasn't. Okay, gonna get that. Okay, there we go, got the heart. That's what I wanted. And we're gonna grab the checkpoint here before the boss. Oh yeah, I guess I don't grab a power-up on this level. There is a fire power-up on this level, but I don't grab it just because it's a little out of the way. So maybe I actually do fight more bosses than I thought without a power-up. In Act 5, you're kind of forced to no power-up, as you'll see, so... Act 1 and 3, we definitely want the power-ups for the bosses, though. So this guy, so you can see the green pepper, that's there's like these boss-damaging items that you can pick up. They're kind of useless, honestly, because they hardly do any damage. And they waste a lot of time having to watch that cutscene at the beginning of the boss fight. But in this case, when we defeated the turtle, he gave us one of those items, and we had to pick it up to proceed. So that's why we had one there. But yeah, it's basically like there's only like 6 of those items on each act, and if you collect all 6 of them, it takes like 1 hit off the boss, and that's it. So it's really not that useful. And if you have a power-up, in most cases it doesn't take any hits off the boss. It's just very strange. It's kind of is supposed to reward you for like finding secrets, and those are like the items you get rewarded with, but I don't feel like they balanced it quite correctly. It's not really speedrun or casually, it's hardly worth going for those. So now we move on to Act 3 here, which is we'll start with the graveyard, which has a very unique mechanic. So Bonk's going to get struck by lightning here, which is going to kill him outright, and his angel will rise to the top, and we'll be playing as Zombie Bonk. And we start with no health, and for every bit of health we pick up, the angel will get slightly lower in the air. So, so we'll see that happening here. No health. We're going to grab a heart and a watermelon, which puts him just low enough for us to be able to reach him. And then once we touch the angel, then we are able to turn back into regular Bonk here. And all right, come on. Might need some help. Okay, we're gonna grab that checkpoint. And then we can finish the stage as normal. And grab this heart. So yeah, if you get to the end of the stage and you haven't, and you're still in zombie Bonk form, it just won't let you complete the stage until you get your regular form back. The angel will sit there and slowly drop food for you though, so that you can't like soft lock by taking too much damage. This angel will slowly feed you watermelon slices. So now we're just, you know, we're on this continent or whatever that just conveniently has like every biome imaginable and everything that they could want to put into a game here, just conveniently for us to play through. So well, we're just kind of in the Wild West here now. We got the fire power up now, which is useful for this mini boss, because this mini boss actually has a lot of health if you don't have the power up. So we'll hit him with the fire and then a downwards head bonk, and that'll take him out pretty quick. And we get a nice little piece of a heart container as a reward there, which is useful. And now we're going to the train station where the chicken gang member was on the train, but apparently he jumped down from the fortress to battle us and then got on the train and then left without us. So we have to take the pig copter to catch up to him. Okay. The pig copter is a little awkward to control. Yep, I lost my pig copter. I knew I was off my normal cycle there, but let's see. Okay, wanted that heart just because I was getting low. So unfortunately, if we lose our pig copter, we got to go back and get it again. Oh, it's so hard to control. See, I lost it again. Okay. Oh, and I didn't get the lemon either. Rip pig copter. Alright, let's try this again. This time the enemy should be gone. Sometimes I try and go above this enemy, but then the pig copter will randomly lose height and just crash into him anyways, so... Okay. We'll get there eventually. Here we go. Alright, now we made it. So... now we'll ditch the pig copter. Alright, we're going to temporarily grab Ballerina Bonk again. But just for a second, so that we can double jump up into the egg, which is the chicken Bonk power-up. And we're going to use chicken Bonk here. Let's see. So I want to fall very precisely through there and not hit that frog. Alright, and on to the boss. This is probably one of the worst bosses in the game just as far as the speedrun goes, because it's almost just pure RNG. Basically, it's the train boss, and these little, like, fishbone things come out of the ground, but it's all random which tubes they come out of, or if they come out at all. And you have to hit a fishbone to get the boss to lower. Oh, I lost my power-up, and I didn't die. I barely avoided death there, so that's good. So we're just randomly, you know, waiting for these fishbone things to pop up so we can hit them. And sometimes they just troll you with a sign like that instead of actually popping out. Oh boy, okay. So you're just at the mercy of RNG here, waiting for them to pop out. There's one, finally. Okay, I think we need 2 or 3 more. I got one hit in with the chicken, which did double damage, but can't remember how many hits we're at now. So yeah, you can easily gain, especially if you lose your power up and you have to do extra hits like I did here, you lose a lot of time, but even if you keep your power up, you can easily lose 30 seconds or more just from, you know, bad RNG on this boss. So there we go, finally got him. And you have to fight him again later too in the boss rush, so. Alright, so now we'll move on to Act 4. The third lock broke on the mysterious character's jail cell. So this is the Chicken Queen. She gives us a nice taunt here and then jumps down. No, I won't tell you who's in the cell. The grand reveal will not be ruined. It's not like he was on the title screen opening cutscene or anything. We have no idea who it could be. Okay. This cave section's kind of fun to play. Almost all the first areas that don't have a mini boss or anything are pretty fun to just play through. There's only a couple sections in this game that I don't really enjoy. Alright, let's see, get our health back here. While we wait for that. And we're done with this area. Alright, and on to the flower. This stage is actually pretty difficult to do quickly, but it's a lot of fun. Let's see if I can do it properly. Oh, almost. Let's see. Let's give it one more try. Nice. Got the frog skip. Second try frog skip, still good. Grab the heart here just to make sure I'm okay on health. That frog skip actually saves quite a bit of time. Alright, and we got the fire power up, which is useful for this mini boss because I can actually kill these little bee things in one hit from below, which is not possible with normal Bonk and speeds that fight up quite a bit. And now we will head into the convenient, like, crystal ice area that exists here. And this is where the Chicken Queen will be waiting for us. Alright, let's see. Avoided the minigame flower. That's good. That's always good to see. That is one of the two high-risk minigame flowers in the game. Alright. And then squeeze through here. Nope. Through here. Oh boy. Okay. Almost got squished, which if you get squished, oh, I wanted that checkpoint, but hopefully we'll be fine. If you get squished like horizontally, they actually, one of the saddest parts about this game is they got rid of the crab form. And if you get squished vertically, you turn into a worm. But if you get squished horizontally, you get turned into a penguin, which is kind of cool. So alright. Chicken Queen is defeated. Alright, and on to Act 5, which is the final chicken gang member, the chicken doctor, and then we may get to see who's waiting in the jail cell. All right, chicken doctor, come get us. So Act 5 starts with this fiery mountainside area, which is fairly short and fairly easy. But then the second section of Act 5 is like the longest stage in the game. All right, through that area, and so now the yeah, this is like the longest stage in the game, the block cave. So Bonkj comes up here, he wants to get into the lab, but the lab appears to be locked, so he heads down here to try and find another way in. All right, so the block cave. You gotta break your way through all these series of blocks. There we go. I was like, that frog drops at full health, so I wanted that. Okay. Make our way down here. Oh, and the mini boss of this area is also probably one of the biggest pains because it's just very RNG heavy as well. So this is yeah, one of the stages where you can lose a lot of time just to RNG, and it's just difficult to navigate through all these blocks optimally. But so this section, yeah, this is like the huge maze of blocks, but thankfully there's a new power-up we haven't seen yet, which they give us here. If you go into this dead end intentionally, there's a shovel, hidden shovel, which turns us into Drill Bonkj. He's got his sunglasses on, drill on his head, and you can fire the drill out like a projectile. That helps us get through these blocks a lot faster. And then we take a little shortcut here. Wait for that to open, and then we can drill all the way down through this. We want to stay up near the top here so that there's some crushers at the bottom that'll try and squash us, but they won't spawn in if we stay all the way at the top here. Yeah, Mole Bonkj. Yeah, you can call it Mole Bonkj. That's fair. Now this RNG heavy mini boss. So these cacti move right and left very randomly, and then the cannonballs also drop in random positions. So sometimes you'll just get a really bad pattern where the cacti are either guarding the cannonballs and making it nearly impossible to get to them, or the cannonballs are just falling in really inconvenient locations or falling on your head and doing damage to you. So that mini boss can be rough. That was a pretty decent pattern there. So then a pill falls from the sky, and Bonkj has no choice but to take the pill, which knocks him out. And then the chicken doctor's minions or whatever come grab Bonkj. Now the chicken doctor is going to try and do some sort of experiment on him here, where he looks like he's trying to siphon some of Bonkj's powers into this strange looking giant egg thing. But something goes wrong with the experiment, and Bonkj turns into a King Drool looking Bonkj form, and the chicken doctor runs away. So now we're this King Drool Bonkj, which is sort of like a built-in power-up. We have fire breath now, so there's the fire breath. I wanted that heart, but that's okay. Actually, I should be fine on health here. Okay, grab the checkpoint. I'll grab this health just in case. Hidden health there. And we'll take the classic Bonkj elevator, the only time we'll see it in this game, to the boss to fight the chicken doctor here. Bonkj is definitely a game. It is a trip, but these games are a lot of fun. They definitely don't take themselves too seriously, which is kind of why I love them. So. Okay. There we go. The chicken doctor's defeated. And now the moment everyone's been waiting for. The final lock. Yeah, there is one of those boss elevators on Super Bonkj 1 actually as well. We just didn't see it. It was in Act 1, but it's on a path that we didn't take, so. But yeah, they use it here. It gets to remain in here. Reference to the old trilogy. All right, the final lock's broken, and who is it? Oh, it's King Drool. Surprise. Now here's what I don't understand. I have a hard time explaining this. We defeated the 5 bad guys that apparently had King Drool locked up, so that King Drool can now come out of jail, and now we have to battle him. But we're still gonna have to do a boss rush and fight the chicken gang again. So I'm not really quite sure like what the alliances are here, but anyways, we got to get up to the flying fortress somehow. And if you recognize this music from before, the way we're gonna do it is via pigcopter. So Bonk's gonna use himself as the propeller here. And we're going to fly all the way on up to the mysterious fortress in the sky. The pigcopter is much less annoying to have to control on this stage because you're basically just going straight up. When you're trying to chase the train, it's a huge pain because all the spikes and anything that touches you just destroys the pigcopter instantly, and so it's tricky to navigate through, but this part's not nearly as bad. So we'll get up here to the fortress, and since the last boss in this game is actually very unpredictable, I'm going to grab a little extra life here. I'm going to grab one other extra safety life in this next screen. Hopefully I won't need them, but if you do game over, you have to start the entire like act again. Like I'd have to start on Act 6 again if I game over, which is a huge amount of time if you game over on the final boss. So I'm going to play it safe and just get some extra 1-ups so that I've got a few chances at it. So you got this kind of pipe maze. So this isn't a traditional boss rush in that on Act 6 there's a platforming stage followed by a boss, and then a platforming stage followed by a boss, alternating. So that's kind of the way this plays out. So this section, you kind of got this this pipe maze where you have to hit these switches to change which direction the pipes send you, which is kind of a pain casually, but thankfully in the speedrun we already know exactly which way we need to go. So, oh yeah, I wanted to go. Okay. This time we don't want to hit the switch. Alright, so we'll fight the chicken gang in the same order we fought them originally. I lost my firepower up, so I think I have to get like 5 or 6 hits in. But it's not a big deal. Alright, coming from this side. Thankfully he moves a lot quicker than the first time we fought him, so things move along pretty quickly, even having to get a couple extra hits. So now, all right, here comes the other most dangerous minigame flower in the game. I'm going to be very careful and navigate around it here so that I don't accidentally play a minigame. There we go. It's hiding there on that statue. It blends in. But playing a minigame is like at least a minute time loss. Well, maybe not at least, but on average probably a minute time loss. So we want to avoid that. All right. Second boss. We're doing pretty good on health, and there's always a checkpoint right before the bosses too, so it's fairly forgiving. There we go. All right, on to the third section. We're gonna get our health back here, and then this will be the one and only time where we get to see the lizard power up. So this monkey has a lizard power up item hiding in him. And the lizard, like most of the other power-ups, does double damage just on his own, which is why we want him, because we're going to be fighting the train boss again here. And the more damage we can get, the better. He also has a special ability where he can stick out his tongue and eat enemies and recover some health when you do that. And he can also attach to certain vines and things with his tongue. Okay, and we lost it just like that. That almost always happens. I'm lucky if I can get one hit in with the lizard, but that's alright. We'll revert back to, you know, fighting him like we did last time. And we're just playing the RNG again, waiting for the fish bones. The thing is, you can use the tongue power-up on these fish bones to actually recover some health with the lizard form, but the animation of the lizard Bonk, like swallowing the enemies, is so long that you almost always get hit by one of these flying rocks while you're doing the animation, and so it's hardly worth it. And then when you get hit, you lose your power-up, of course, so. Alright. RNG's not being too cruel this time. I'm not going to damage boost through for that. There we go. We'll take that one. One more hit, I think? Wasn't really counting. There's this nice safe spot here, you know, in the spikes, which you wouldn't really think would be a safe spot, but yeah, you stand in the spikes and he can't hurt you. Okay, there we go. Take him out there. Move on to the fourth area. To face the Chicken Queen again. Ooh, another minigame flower. Usually take the top path there, so just gotta be careful navigating around that. Alright. We get the chicken power up here again. Gotta watch out for the falling chandelier. Don't want to get hit by that, but free one up. And a checkpoint. Alright. Alright, that boss is pretty quick with the chicken power up, so there we go. One left, the chicken doctor. Okay. They hide that switch down in the water. It's so that, you know, they don't expect you to find it the first time, I think, so that when you get up here and you go in the pipe, that it just sends you back to the where you just came. But thankfully, we already know we need to hit that switch so that we can advance here. And we will get, we'll hit 100 smileys here, which will give us another one up. So our life count's looking really good. I'm feeling pretty good about getting through the final boss here without a game over. I mean, hopefully we'll just get through him on for the first life, but I definitely should get through him on 8 lives. Alright, lost my power-up again, but that's okay. The power-up actually doesn't save much time on this boss. Just because of how quick you can get the hits. Doesn't really matter that much if you're doing double damage or not. See, took 6 hits instead of 3, but it's still, you know, pretty quick. Alright, now here's King Drool. Except wait, remember that giant egg that they were siphoning Bonk's powers into? Yeah, we gotta get through that thing first. So King Drool's gonna throw these different meats. And different Bonk heads are gonna come out. And this boss is also very, very RNG heavy, because what will happen is the dragon head will pop out, and it will either just dip its head down like that one did and let me get a hit on it, or it'll use its special ability like the fire one did when it first came out. And there's a very big time difference between whether or not a head uses its ability or whether it just lets us hit it right away. So this battle can very easily swing, you know, plus or minus 30 seconds or more, depending on what kind of RNG you get. So far we've only had one attack, which is pretty good. The fire one is the most dangerous one though, because it can easily knock you off the edge, so you gotta be real careful there. The other two are not nearly as dangerous, even though they might lose you a little more time than the fire one. Okay, see, like this one? Oh, I guess when the head comes off, it interrupts the special ability. That's funny. Okay, and the dragon egg is done. Nothing left between us and King Drool. So you might be wondering, like, well, Bonk already had a King Drool form earlier, right? Should we fight King Drool versus King Drool? Or what's going to happen? Nah. King Drool's going to say, oh, you use all these meats to power yourself up? Well, I'm going to use this really, really weird and suspicious looking meat and just eat it and see what it does for me. It just made his head grow. So large that his body cannot hold it anymore. The hitbox on this boss is so weird, which is why I said it might take quite a few lives to beat this. Yep, there's one death. Because it's very hard to, it's very unpredictable and when you're going to take damage. Like, I have a strategy that I'm using, but it's very hard to actually get it to play out consistently. Okay, I want those hits. I don't want to take damage again there, but let's see if we can make this work. Nope. Almost. If I would have been able to get inside the hitbox there, I might have been able to finish it off, but give it a third try. There we go. All right. King Drool is defeated. Sort of. He falls off the tower and lands on the ground. And his head reattaches to his body here. And now Bonk is piloting the giant fortress. And King Drool's just kind of wandering around aimlessly down here. And we're going to use the giant fortress to flatten him. 1, 2. Oh, missed him. 3. Boom. And there's time. 39:21. Not too bad. And that's Super Bonk 2. So now Bonk will, just like the credits to Super Bonk 1, Bonk's gonna, run home or whatever. But this time he's got the flattened King Drool flying behind him. So he's just running with flattened King Drool through the end. We'll go ahead and let the credits play out because I think I'm doing okay on time. Yeah, we'll let the credits play out, and this will put us right at a good ending time here. So yeah, this game's a lot of fun. I mean, the sprinting mechanic definitely makes it different. There's a couple things in the game that I don't love, like the train boss and the dragon egg just being so RNG heavy makes it kind of not super fun to try and grind out really good times as far as speedrun times on this, just because of how big of time swings there can be on those bosses and how the dragon eggs at the very end. But if that's your thing though, by all means, this could be a fun game. This is probably not it's a pretty obscure game, so a lot of people probably have not seen this before. In fact, I think this was probably the first time it's ever been at any marathon at all, so probably a lot of people seeing it for the first time. But yeah, it's pretty fun. It has that sprint mechanic, a lot of like Mario-like platforming mechanics, but then a lot of the Bonk-like crazy power-ups and silly things, and the flipping through the air and stuff like that. So it's fun. Yeah, and as you can see here, the credits being in Japanese, it'll be a little more apparent when Angela's name comes up again. But yeah, so if we want to see any all caps Angela hearts in the chat whenever Angela's name comes up, that'd be cool. But I guess I'll take this opportunity to thank Fiesel and all the organizers and volunteers of this event. It's been fun to be part of, and I know there's lots more good stuff coming up here. So there's Angela. Yeah, stick around for some more good SNES Super Stars content here, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I hope to be back again someday, and yeah, you can always check out my channel at LeadOstrich if you want to see some more Bonk and some other SNES games. And I think I'll probably, I don't think the only thing at the end of the credits here, it doesn't actually show like a cutscene like Super Bonk 1 did, but it does say to be continued, which is sort of a lie because there was never really another mainline Bonk game after this. But maybe there will be another one someday. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and hopefully you got to see some goofy Bonk action, and I had a fun time sharing it with you all. So thanks. I'll catch you all later.